Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to tonight's Zoom call. I am so excited to see you all here, and I really actually appreciate you guys taking the time and joining us. Now, I know your time is precious, so we're actually going to dive right in. We're going to start off with just a few testimonials. Now, these are incredible experiences, and you really don't want to miss this. That's why I'm recording it for you all. Now, after these testimonials, we're going to share a little bit of information about the patch, how to use it, how it works, and why this is going to take New Zealand by storm. And finally, then we're going to actually open it up for a Q&A. So this is a chance to get your questions answered. And feel free to post them in the chat, and Misha and I will answer them at the end. So basically, just quickly before we get into the testimonials, like I was actually looking into these patches, and it's so funny because I was not prepared to run another business. I've been just finishing my law degree, and I've actually already got a job because my husband's a lawyer, and I'll be working with him. So yeah, when this came up, I was like, actually, this is something so unique, and I've got a marketing background, and I could not let the opportunity pass me by. Because with my business mind, I looked at it through business eyes. I'm like, okay, you've got a unique opportunity here. You've got a company that does everything for you, super cool training, opportunities to travel the world. And yeah, so that's when I kind of reached out to Misha, and yeah, she's answered a lot of questions, and this girl here has been on her patching journey since they came out in Australia, actually, and now she's traveling the world. So before we hear from Misha, I just want to we're going to hear from Aga first, and she's going to share her experience with X39, and then we'll move on to Misha, and then finally Colin. So I'm so excited to hear these things. So Aga, if you want to take it away and share what you've got, I'll just chuck myself on mute while you do this. I'm so excited. Thank you so much too.
Wonderful. Thanks, Deb. Wow. Where do I begin? Let me begin at the beginning. So before I actually mention that, so my greatest passion, my greatest purpose in life that I believe I was put into this life and this world is to empower people on their own healing journey and for them to have hope that healing is actually possible. So 5 years ago, I received the big scary C diagnosis when the doctor told me that I had cancer that had progressed and metastasized actually over the past few years. So last August, I was in so much pain. I had this little girl, 7 years old, and 30 kilos of supplements and vitamins. And I was planning on going overseas to see my family in Turkey. So I'm in Australia, in Sydney, and I calculated it was 42 hours from the time I leave my house until the time I would arrive at my parents' place. And I had bone pain. If anyone knows what bone pain is, it's quite horrendous and it's really debilitating. So, and I wasn't going to take the opioids. And my friend Shelley, she said, Ege, why don't you try these patches? I hear that they help with pain. And I was like, oh, it's another thing that I got to do. Okay, if they arrive in time, I will give them a go. And lucky, a blessing in the sky, they have actually arrived a day before my departure. From the moment, and not everyone is like this, but from the moment I put it on my body, something happened. Something big happened because I felt systematically in my whole body the pain just being significantly subsiding and 95% improvement within the first few minutes. It was incredible. I was like, wow. And I felt this electrical charge, and it was giving me so much hope to be knowing, okay, I'm actually going to enjoy my holidays in Turkey. I'm not just going to be in bed. Like I was in a wheelchair on a walking stick. Like this is how bad it really got when it got bad. And I arrived in Turkey. I already had some experiences, obviously, with these patches because I've been wearing them on my journey. And I started patching my family because everyone has like chronic back pain. And I have a grandmother who was bedridden at the time, and she weighs 100 kilos. So my stepmother was the primary carer. It was really hard to care for her because she was so heavy and she wasn't able to go to the toilet and walk around. So I've patched everyone. And within 1 week, this grandmother actually started walking around the house, and she started taking herself to the toilet, and her light came back. Like when she looked at you, she didn't just look through you and being kind of there but not there, but she was actually fully present, being able to sleep through the night. And my dad, chronic back pain gone, my auntie, chronic back pain gone. And I had 10 people that I had patched, and all of them had incredible results, from like not needing their glasses anymore to growing hair on places where for decades there wasn't any hair. And I had months and months of this illumination, of this activated life force, of energy, of sleep, of clarity, of inspiration, creativity. Like I felt like I came back from the slumber. I came back from a big, deep sleep back to life. So now I share it with obviously my clients, and everyone is having incredible results. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just talk for a few minutes, but you can hopefully feel in my energy what these patches are meaning to myself and to the people I introduce them to, and how the quality of life in people's are increasing, but most of all, how this is actually giving people hope. Because I'm somebody who wants to remind people of their innate healing ability, and when we align the body with what it actually needs and take away what's in the way, then the body is able to for incredible healing. And basically not having the doctor as a first stop to go to, but really be your own healer. So these patches have helped me to do that on so many spiritual, mental, and physical levels. And I'm beyond grateful for this technology and for the people who have introduced me to this biotechnology.
Oh, thank you so much. That's incredible. What an incredible story. Really appreciate you sharing, Iggy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right. So, Misha, are we able to hear you? So this is Misha, my sponsor. So she's the one that answered so many questions, and she's just been super supportive, and I really appreciate it. So Misha, can I leave it to you to share your story, my friend?
I'd be delighted to. Thanks so much, Deb. And I wanted to just say thank you for inviting me in on tonight, because and I'm just unbelievably excited that you're carrying the flame for New Zealand, because from what we've seen in the 16 months that I've been patching since I first started in Australia, and the ripple effect, and like Ege, the lives that we touch. Ege's great friends with two of my girlfriends that were very early on this journey with me. So when I started, to give you a bit of where I'd been, when I was at university, I had chronic fatigue, and it took me many years of detoxing, lots of different protocols I had heavy metals within my system, high levels of deodorant. So I'd been on this, it launched me on my wellness journey. And so that has been part of my laneway for many years. But in the year prior to the patches binding me, so this was in 2022, I had an extremely busy work year. And I also had a very stressful year, in that my mum passed away and in April, and she was the last of my family, and I was like the last one left standing. And so I had emotional stress, and I had also entered this not so fun stage of menopause, which I'd worked out. And I realized that my energy was down. My adrenals by the end of the year were completely fried. I was so concerned. I wasn't sharing it, but I had really high anxiety because I do some legal stuff as well. And I thought I have to be on point. And brain fog, extreme brain fog, was just not a good thing. I also had an injury 18 months before, and I had really bad bursitis in my knee. And my eyes were going because of the menopause. So I was, as I've shared with friends, like I really felt like the wheels were falling off by Christmas. And I literally, in my heart, the kids left up on Christmas Day, and I just put a rocket of intent out of prayer. And I just said, if there is anything at all on the planet that could help me, please align me with it. And little did I know that my girlfriend popped her first patch on that very day, on Christmas Day. And so 7 days later, she rang my husband and I, and she said, oh my gosh, Mish, I just have to come and talk to you about these patches. She said, because my sciatica pain was gone in 4 hours. And so, as you do, she's a great friend and I have great faith in her. And so she came around and she said, these little patches, they're photobiomodulation, just a fancy word for light therapy, and then non-transdermal, which means that nothing goes in the body. And that was a big one for me, and that they reboot our stem cells. And I was in. And so I started straight away, leaned in. She had a form on the table, and I was filling it out while she was still talking to my husband. I couldn't fill it out fast enough. But what I found was that I was a one-patch wonder, and many of us are, but not everybody is. But by the end of my first day, my knee pain was gone. The bursitis in my knee was completely gone, the pain. And also I had this really bad granny clicking when I flexed my leg and bent my knee, and that was gone as well. And so by the next day, my adrenals had calmed, my brain fog had cleared, and I realized that I had this unbelievably crystal clear brain function. And all these other things happened where over the months, or weeks, my nails started to get really hard from collagen. Over the months, I'd stopped going grey. I was white grey to grey to my actual hair colour, which was fantastic. But so many other things. And it's just been such, and my husband, we've had just amazing changes. But the thing that really motivated me was, like you, Deb, I was like, I have to tell everybody this exists. You know, up till now you couldn't wake up a body's stem cells, and they weren't activated, and you had to try to, you know, and I just went, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I have to tell my friends. And they then started to patch, and they started to share with us the unbelievable change for themselves, their kids, their parents. And after that, I just thought, I have to just continue to share this. And it's had this ripple effect of, you know, reaching Ege and Colin, that's going to share with us. He's friends of mine. And I still remember the night that Colin got on one of my Zooms in winter last year in June, and with Carolina, and the speed at which his life changed as well. So, and that's all we're doing. We're just passing the baton on.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, you guys are just, I can't wait to see, like, down the track. I'm one of those people that have been, you know, I'm pretty healthy, so I don't have huge issues, but the changes that I've seen just in even that first week, it were just stunning for me. And they might be small to someone else, but, you know, to us personally, they're huge. Colin, so would you love to share your story now? I'm so excited to hear yours too. So you just unmute yourself and I'll leave you to it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Mine goes back 15 years, so it'll I'll make a very long story short. Back when I've got 2 trades in the building industry, and I was doing that for many years, and I just wanted to change, and I saw this ad in the paper to work for this sign writing company doing abseil work. So I get to abseil off high rises and things like that. And that sort of was up my alley because I used to love rock climbing and all different things like that. So was doing this in particular job 3 years into working for this company at the National Gallery of Victoria. And I was up top there to do an abseil job. And this particular big folded up, heavy, awkward to lift banner was hauled up to me. And about my third attempt to lift this banner, my whole back just shuddered across my back, and I tore, hindsight I know from talking to specialists and everything, I ended up tearing 2 of my discs in my lower back. And within 30 minutes, I couldn't even stand straight. I was walking like an old man. And that day changed everything for me, from being a very active person at work and outside of work, recreationally, gym, you name it, to not being able to do much at all. Overnight was a big change, affecting you physically and mentally, of course. And then, so seeing all different specialists and different rehabilitation people for many years. First attempt of trying to get better was over a 3.5 year period. And I'd feel like I was getting somewhere, and then I'd be back where I started, and I'd be like taking 3 steps forward, 3 steps back. You'd think you're actually getting better, and then bang, you're back where you started. And so after 3.5 years, I went and got another opinion off another surgeon. That was a neurosurgeon, and he told me exactly what was going on with me, where the first surgeon wasn't doing any of that. And there's an image of my back now after surgery. So that flat looking part that's horizontal, 2 levels up, that's an artificial disc that to go into my stomach and pull my stomach out to get into my spine and pull out my old bad discs and put it in an artificial one. And the next level down, that's all screwed and fused. So where I was having too much movement in the bottom, they fused it, and where I was having not enough movement, they put an artificial disc there. So I got movement there, but just not the shock absorption of a disc. But then, yeah, so after that, that gave me stability in my back. But the chronic pain that I was dealing with just was not improving. So for 14 years altogether, I was trying to get better and more life back, and had 2 kids along that time, and wanted to, do things with my kids and teach them things that I used to do, like all the rock climbing, water skiing, motorbike riding, you name it. And I wasn't in any shape to do any of those things. And then we bought a house a 1.5 years, 2 years ago in Port Macquarie, and was doing work on there. I'd do some work, but have lots of time off in between. I'd only do like half a day to a day a week on my house, and have to rest the rest of the time. And had a friend of ours who Misha knows. He was helping me. He's a builder, and he was helping me do work on my house. And he come across these patches and shared it with me, because I saw first he was sharing it with me. I thought, oh, they sound a bit gobbledygook to me. And how's something going to fix you when nothing's going in your body, sort of thing. And he sounded very excited about it. He hadn't used them yet. And I said, how about you give them a try and let me know how you go? And so he did, because he had issues with pain in his ankle, and he was due to have surgery on it. And a few days after getting started on them, he dropped around and just looked like a new man. Like the lift of pain had lifted off him. He got off his pain medication. Yeah, he just looked like a whole weight had lifted off him. I said, all right, hook me up. I'm going to give these things a go. And so I did. And probably in the space of a week to a week and a half, I had changes all the way through, pretty much from the time I put the patch on. I felt a heat sensation happen in where I put the patch on. It was like a burst of energy was flowing in that area where I put the patch on. That doesn't happen to everyone, but that happened to me. And within a week and a half, all my pain was dramatically dropped. And I was able to do more things without having to rest like I was. And I was able to start working on my house every day, not once a week. And now, since I've been using the patches now, probably 11 months, nearly 12 months. And now I race my kids on the bike and running at the beach, and in the pool, race them at the pool, and been taking them indoor rock climbing, and just what else? Like pretty much doing everything that I used to do, but still want to do things that I used to do that I haven't had a chance to do yet. And we're about to hit the road traveling Australia full time, so I'll have plenty of opportunities to do different things and teach the kids and so on. So there's been plenty of other things too that have happened along the line that Misha and Ega talked about, with more energy and clarity in the mind and all those things. But one of the other things I'll point out that happened that was very quick, I was using a high-grade liquid collagen that helped me the most with my pain at the time. And around the time of starting the patches, I had this red flaky skin down my nose, across this part of my eyebrows, and if I shave, it would all be down there as well. It'd all be red and flaky. And every morning, my morning routine would be to get all the flakes off my skin so I didn't go out the door with a flaky face. And it was all red as well, so I'd have to do things to try and calm it down. And that was my morning routine for about a year. And I was on the verge to go and see a dermatologist because I was getting a bit worrisome, thinking, what if it's something more serious? It's been hanging around a lot. And I was using this high-grade liquid collagen. I was thinking if that was going to help, that would help the skin. Not that I was taking it for that reason, but you'd think that that would help that. And then by after day three of using the patches, I went to the bathroom to do my normal morning routine, and the red flaky skin had gone and it hasn't been back. And that was after 3 days. And that just shows too how the patches, once your stem cells are activated, your natural body's collagen production kicks into gear too. And yeah, so not getting it from an outside source, it's your own body producing it. And it did a lot better than that high-grade liquid collagen that cost more than the patches was doing. So yeah, anyway, there you go.
Thank you so much. Wow, that's an incredible story, Colin. Thank you, all three of you, for sharing. It just blows me away. And Colin, you said something, how the fact that it's our body actually creating these things, because so many people say to me, oh, well, what is it doing? Like, there must be something going into you to do this. But, I use that sun analogy that I learned, that, you go into the sun and that increases vitamin D in you. Yeah. So it's very similar to that. It causes a chemical reaction in your body, and it's just amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Right. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly go over, and I'm hoping Misha will help me with a bit of this. So basically, I'm going to share like how we use the patch, and then Misha is going to just explain briefly like how it works. So basically, I've got the patch that, as you can see, it's a little patch like this. And honestly, when I first got this, when I got the pack, I sort of sat there and was like honestly, I was a bit, I'll be honest, I was skeptical. I was like, how is this going to change anything for me? Not that I had anything huge to change, thankfully. But yeah, by that afternoon, I was able to get off my bed without having to unfold myself, like an old lady. And I'm not even 50. So that was mind blowing alone. Not to mention the other things that I noticed. So basically, you wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So you put it on in the morning, just take the back off, you peel the back off, you put it on, stick it to the back of your neck. You can wear it anywhere on your body. And then you stick it on there, leave it on there. You can shower, you can swim, you can do whatever. And then you leave it on for no more than 12 hours, and then you take it off. You give your body 12 hours to recover, rest. And from there, you put it on, you throw it in the rubbish, of course. You chuck another one on the next day. So you get a little pack of them like this, and they come in, and you'll see a bunch of them in there. One question that I always am getting is, what are these little things? They come with some of them. These little things are really just, they're acupuncture beads. Now, the instructions say to chuck them in the packet, but look, to be honest, it is just to deal with compliance, right? Under the Therapeutic Goods Act. So it's a bit of a, I guess, a woo-woo kind of thing. It's not a medicine, so to speak. Misha will probably explain that better than me if you want to know more. So that's how you wear them. You drink lots of water, stay hydrated. And I think that's the guts of how you wear them. Misha, do you want to just share? I'm getting better at sharing how they work, but if you just want to do that part, that would be really awesome.
You're absolutely fantastic in your sharing. And look, this is one of the things, you don't need to know very much, but we do learn lots along the way. But essentially, the one thing I would just add as a little bit of clarification is you can patch, most of us patch when we clean our teeth in the morning, and you can leave it on all day until you go to bed. So it doesn't have to be that a set 12 hours, 12 hours. That was basically a guide so that people, because that 12-12, people will remember 12 hours on, 12 hours off. But it is really just so that when we go to bed and we rest, that light switch of where it's activating, elevating our copper peptide, I'll explain that in a minute, so that light switch is turned off and the body can just rest and regenerate. And then the next day we pop a new patch on. So how they work is they really are such a simple looking little patch. And this is the outer packet. So but this is 20 years worth of research and technology. And along the way, David Schmidt, the scientist and inventor, has created other patches. That was part of his journey. The first ones, in fact, were they're called energy and endurance patches. And they were, he was commissioned by the US government to create some technology to help the Navy SEALs stay awake when they have to stay awake for up to 72 hours at a time. So he cracked into the start of this technology. He ended up that he took it off on his own, and it was picked up by the US Olympic team coaches. And as they say, the rest was history. So he created other patches along the way. And each of those patches, so what he had to do is he had to create the technology from every level. So one is it's organic nanocrystals. There is nothing in the patch. It's just organic nanocrystals that are made in a lab. There's just some sugars, some salts, some proteins. They are housed in a lattice structure. Again, that's a patented technology as well, the structure that it's in, and they hold a specific frequency. So this is where the mind-blowingness of what he's pulled off is. So as we patch, when it comes near our body's own light, our infrared light principally, activates the patch, and the patch then reflects our own light back into us. And that sends a message to the body saying, elevate your copper peptide, which is our GHKCU. And copper peptides, there's a saying that copper peptides are the holy grail of anti-aging. And one of the things that they do is they reboot our pluripotent cells, our stem cells. And I hadn't known, and many of us hadn't until we started our patching journey, that by the time we're 30, half our stem cells are already inactive in life. But by the time we're 60, pretty much they're all inactive. And if we're super lucky, we've got about 10% of them still on board. But by the time we're 65, they're done and dusted. So that's why we enter that aging process, and we don't heal as quickly as we used to. And then wound healing and brain fog and all the rest of it. So it is really super simple, and all you do is you patch in the morning, clean your teeth, patch, take it off at night. When you go to bed, throw it away or patch your pooch, which is our case, and drink plenty of good water. And I'll just say that the water is incredibly important. It's dead simple to patch, but the water is to get the best result. Stem cells need, the body needs good hydration for them to function optimally. And the other thing that happens is there's energy flowing through. Stem cells wake up and they say, giddy up, let's go to the weakest link in the body. And they start to work down our tick list. And in the process, they start to push out what's not supposed to be in the body, like toxins and things that we've accumulated in our tissue and stuff over our life. And water flushes that out.
Fantastic. Such a good explanation. She's so thorough, isn't she? I love it. Right. I guess what we want to do now is open it up for Q&A. So if there's anyone that has any questions, if you're shy, just type it in the chat. And if you're not shy, chuck your hand up and unmute yourself and we can take one at a time. But yeah, this is your chance to get your questions answered, guys, for for people if you haven't patched or if you have, or yeah, let us know if there's anything that you want to know.
I have a question.
Sure.
First of all, thank you so much. It's really interesting. So beautiful to hear the testimonials and the story. Really, really fascinating and interesting. My first question, I have many, but my first question is, and probably the only one that I will ask today, is that the length of using the pet. So for example, the first testimonial that she said that she has cancer, that she started using it, for how long? Do you use it for the rest of your life, every day of your life? Or do you use it for a period of time? Calling your testimonial as well, like you witness all, you saw all that changes within you, for how often, or what is the period of time that you use this
My gosh,
patch?
that's a great question.
Thank you.
Encompasses some really good stuff. So thank you so much for asking it. Well, firstly, what we know is the clinical studies show that if when we patch for 1 month for every decade of our age, so for example, if you're 40, that's 4 months, or if you're 70, 7 months, that's the point at which the clinical studies show that we've woken up all of our stem cells. So some of the doctors, like they've got doctors in the States and we've got doctors in Australia now, and but what they say is that's when the deep healing starts, because all our stem cells are once again on board. And the benefits of when we patch, it's cumulative. So that's the exciting part. Is I've met people that have now been patching for 2.5 years, because my life has completely changed and I've suddenly got all these overseas trips. And it's super exciting when they see change of some things like 2 years down the track. And that's because the body is going through it's that priority list, starting from the weakest link. So for example, where I am right now in the Northern Rivers, there's a lot of oldies in this spot, and like they are gunning it in terms of sharing, because they've had so much change. But these are 80-year-olds and so forth. And from the very beginning, I didn't know what to expect, and everybody's body is different. But I said, let's see where you are in 8 months. But the most amazing things have happened in their journey along the way. But as one of the great doctors, Dr. Stacey, says, is the question of when do you stop patching is, when do you want to start going back into the aging funnel? Because whilst your stem cells are being activated with your that copper peptide being elevated each day, then it's age, and the patents proved it. So they had to prove what, a patent is. You have to prove that it does what you say it does, and that it's never been done before. So he's proven that this is age reversing. It's not anti-aging, it's actually age reversing. But when you stop patching, the natural thing that the body does is the aging process kicks in.
But so you never stop patching. You always have between you every single day. Every single day.
My husband and I, and pretty much like, once you start to go down this journey and you come out and things start to be addressed, like after 5 months, when my husband went to have a checkup for his prostate, and the specialist said to him, my gosh, your prostate has gone completely back to normal. And I've got a very healthy, very fit bodybuilder husband. He's just turned 65 this year, and he's pretty fit, very, very buff, fit. But that was a big deal. He said, look, all I was doing is I just kept patching 1 patch a day. His gym performance went through the roof, and that got his attention. But he said, I didn't feel that happening in my prostate. I didn't feel anything, because you don't feel things internally. And then he was in a major work accident at the end of last year, and he was due for surgery in February, and he patched but he already had been patching for 11 months, but he kept patching, and I patched him with some other patches as well that are the sister patches, because he was in excruciating pain and he had that severed tendon, and they were going to join it and sew it up. It's like bone. They said that it can't join if it's not touching. But 8 weeks later, pre-surgery, the surgeon said, this shouldn't happen. It's an absolute miracle, but it's joined. So for us, Ken says, I am 100% never stopping patching for the cost of a cup of coffee a day. Yeah.
Definitely.
So I hope
Thank you.
explain a little
Yeah,
bit.
definitely.
So, but it is cumulative, and most definitely, honey, one of the things is I don't know what will happen for you, and I didn't know what would happen for my husband, and you don't know. Your body determines, your body's own doctor determines where those master cells need to go first, and the order at which but not everybody is a one patch wonder, like what we call it, the one patch wonder. Some people, it goes straight into like deeper, it's doing internal stuff, brain, heart, whatever. And Colin and his beautiful mumsy, they did a testimonial and update, I don't know, some weeks ago in Australia. And his mum was talking about the change that she's seen in Colin and what that's like for a mum, but also she shared hers, didn't she, Cole? And she said, like, for her it was 8 months, but her testimony was beautiful.
She'd been patching for 8 months, but she had the noticeable changes that she was after. Of course, there would most likely would have been internal things going on that she didn't feel changing, but her noticeable changes were about the 6-month mark. And she hadn't. Here's one big thing that she shared that night. She used to do a lot of dancing in her younger years, and her injuries were coming off horse related, and she hadn't been able to dance like she used to for a good 20 years. And she's back doing she's doing line dancing once a week, and she's doing dancing the night away at parties now, and she's in her 70s. So yeah.
Wow. That's awesome to hear. That's fantastic. Thank you. Is there anyone else that has any questions that they would like answered while we can take advantage of Misha while she's here?
Yes, please. Hi, everyone. Hi, Deb.
Hey, Judy, how are you?
I'm all right. I am not skeptical about these patches. I'm putting all my faith on it that when it comes, it will help me not to be a burden and to help me to be able to get some quality of life. I would like to ask as well, is that how can you go about doing it as well as for your health and your business to help in these hard times?
Gosh, that's another good question. These are really hard times, and one of the things that I said when I started, honey, is that I would be sharing this whether there was a flow back from the company or not. You would have to gaffer tape me not to share this, because my whole journey has been around being of the light and helping people, in whatever way we can. So, but when you share, David Schmidt's created it so that there's a flow back for people that are looking after others, meaning when they open their heart and they're not a roadblock to this technology and these patches. And so when you share, the first thing that happens very, very quickly is that it can help pay for your own patches. But what happens after that is if you continue to look after people and you continue to share, and suddenly they get these results, and it just goes global. I have been patching for 16 months, and all I kept doing was I kept saying, I will get on the next Zoom, or initially, like, I was hitting the road from, I used to be a Queensland girl, and so I was heading up to Queensland every month to just get in front of friends and their friends and things like that and share and help. And then suddenly this year I've got six overseas trips. I've already done 2. And I have got people that have shared with friends and family in all sorts of different countries, Canada, the US, England, Germany, you name it, South Africa. And this is why this company, when David Schmidt started for 17 years, he wasn't doing badly. The company was doing $20 million a year, but it took him 10 years and he put in $4.5 million to crack the uncrackable of waking up our own stem cells. And when that happened and the patent came out in the middle of 2020, by last year, after 3 years, at the end of last year, the life wave went from 20 million to 430 million. And January this year, he said that they're expecting to do between 1.8 and $2 million this year. And that's simply because nobody else on the planet has got this technology. And that comes with an incredible opportunity to open up New Zealand to share, and people share and will continue to share. And it just gives, I think now is a time where we desperately need to create secondary income streams. Things are becoming incredibly expensive, and I doubt that it's going to get better in a hurry. Like it's predicted to get, prices are continuing to go up. So when we're able to create something that creates an income flow and gives us some income sovereignty as well as being fulfilling a purpose and a heart purpose, it's an amazing, amazing thing to be part of.
I just want to add to what you're saying, and with the sort of the people that I've spoken to and that have joined me on this journey so far. Every time I've spoken to someone and the amount of pain that people are in that I had no idea about, and just, it's so cool how they can lean on my testimony and just, or someone else's, or they watch something and they can lean on that, and then they take that chance. Because there was someone that actually said to me, Deb, I would never have brought this if you hadn't told me about it. And it was only because they trusted me and what I had experienced. And I think, Judy, that's the key here is, I know that you're going through some trials right now, honey. And once you share your experiences, I think you'll just do amazing. I just cannot wait to see how it helps you. And that might take time. It may not be instant, like Misha was explaining, but I can't wait to watch your journey, hun.
Thank you, Deb, because I'm suffering, everyone. Suffering so bad. It was just by accident. Someone told me about Deb that she did the X39, and I'm pinning all my hope on the X39 to save me. I got 2 young kids and I need help. I can't wait for it to come. Thank you. Love to you all.
No worries, Judy. I hope you got to hear Eggy's testimonial just earlier. So is there any other questions that anyone has for us? No more?
I have another question.
Sure.
And also I saw Lisa. I will get to you as well. I saw you.
Oh, sorry.
I have 2 questions. One is a little bit random and a little bit embarrassed to have it. But when I was watching the videos about this guy who created, I noticed that I'm always noticing these type of things, but I noticed that he himself wasn't like the biggest, like super fit person, super healthy looking guy. Like he was a little bit chubby, and I thought, how can you be the creator of such an amazing technology and not look absolutely like super fit? So I wanted to share that question because maybe someone else thought that random thought that I had. It doesn't mean that it's not amazing. Obviously, it is amazing. We're seeing it, but I was just wondering if there's a comment on that. And the other thing that I noticed in the videos is that I saw a few big brands supporting this. I don't know if it's supporting or there's part of it, but one of the brands that I saw, it was Pfizer. And I wanted to clarify. Yes, I know, right? And I saw it in one of the videos of the link that I got sent, and I wanted to understand if that is supported or if you know anything about it. It was just a question. And if you guys haven't noticed, maybe look at it because I mentioned it to Lisa and she also didn't notice. So I was like, interesting. I'm very observant. That is my problem, as you can tell. I see random things that no one else see. But I just wanted to ask if anyone noticed it or everyone knows about it. That was my question. High question. Sorry.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that David Schmidt is actually pretty fit, and he does keep himself fit. But I don't know which video or what you were referencing, like when, and we all go through times. I know that you know, my summer weight is often different from my winter weight or whatever, so I can't comment about that one. I do know that he works out, so and he keeps himself fit as well. But the other can't. Look, one of the things I'll say is this is so far different from conventional medicine. It's not medicine. This is actually light therapy. It is. We are literally in Star Trek world. Like we have, you know, where this is technology which until 2020 was quite futuristic, because of the fact that it's working with energy, it's working with frequency and with light. And he's got more technology that's coming out, and that it's working with light. And when you work with the body's own light, we are beings of light. So when the body repairs itself, it's what stem cells do is they repair and regenerate. And of course, we don't make any claims or any predictions on what will happen for people, because what happens will be in their own order. But we do know that when you activate your stem cells' natural function is to repair and regenerate. And what happens is when stem cells come in contact with damaged tissue, they make new. So, and that is seriously exciting. So, but Lisa, I know that you had your hand up, did you?
I did.
And thank you for that question, by the way. All questions are great.
I just want to say that I put my first patch on Tuesday morning, and I've already noticed, because I was a bigger skeptic like Deb, and we had a little bit of a chat about that. So I've already noticed this shift in a little pain I had down my wrist. So it was I couldn't actually put my hand on my hip because it was pulling with all these nerves here. Never in my life have anything like that. So that's gone, which is nice. But my question is about the whole weekend. I'm ex-doTERRA, and I've been in network marketing for like 4 years, and I love the video I watched, and it's just, I've never seen a comp plan like it. The fact that with doTERRA you had to go back to zero each time. So I have a few questions about how to make the best use of when we have a brand partner. And I just wondered if one time we could do some training, or I haven't actually asked Deb this question, but
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you that anybody that's done an MLM or a network marketing or an affiliate marketing or things like that, we have got some in the last in the last 5 months, I have some seriously big rocket ship people that have built massive organizations.
Yep.
And some of them started simply, and it's the network of friendship, and it was just like, you know, where I had credibility with people when I shared, and Deb's, where they just have that trust in the person. And they said, wasn't planning on doing anything else. And like I wasn't planning on, I certainly when my wheels were falling off, I was not looking for something else or something to add on or in my life. But when they patched and when they saw the change in themselves, but a lot of them in there, also their husbands, their children, and in things like that, they just launched, and that's happening a lot at the moment. And every single one of them have said that this is the most generous compensation plan and the easiest. So, and I will add something when we're not being recorded.
That's great. Thanks, Misha, for answering that. Does that answer your question, Lisa? What I think we will do is those that are brand partners, I think we should actually run a solid training. I'm sure Misha wouldn't mind donating some time to us all.
I would really love to support you in any way that I can. And I hugely acknowledge that Deb has the vision, just like I did. I don't know much, but I can learn quickly. And I want to be part of the launching of Australia and beyond, which we've certainly done.
Excellent.
And it is an incredibly exciting, rewarding journey to be on. So yeah, but a training, I'm heading off to Europe. That's my next trip in 2 weeks. So if you'd like and invite me back, I'll definitely make time and do a training for you. And then I can see you again when I'm back after 3 weeks.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much, Mish. I think what I'll do is we'll close it off now, and we'll stop the recording because I think Mish wants to share something that's not on the recording. Look, guys, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate you guys just showing up, being here, taking an interest. If you haven't tried the patch yet, go back to the person who invited you to this Zoom and chat to them, talk to them, ask them any questions. They'll be able to help you out. If you have patched and you tried them, but you want to be part of like this incredible technology and really sort of spearhead the effort here in New Zealand, then don't miss this opportunity, because honestly, it's the perfect time to get on board and be part of a massive team where you get support and backing from not just me, but Misha and the rest. There is actually a massive team behind us. There's onboarding, there's all sorts of things that make it just that much easier for you. So you're going to get supporting and backing all the way. So I say, let's do it. But again, thank you, team, for joining this, and we'll finish it up.